Hi everyone. In this video I wanted to talk about the second type of school that you can work in China, which is a public school. And as I mentioned before, public schools are run by the government. They are varying in quality and in number of students and location, etc. You can choose to work in a public kindergarten. You can choose to work in a public primary school, which is like an elementary school. Usually it goes up to grade 6. And then you can choose to work in a public secondary school or middle school or high school. So for the public schools, it's basically kindergarten through grade 12. Now, if you work in a kindergarten, generally, they prefer female teachers for kindergarten. It's just their preference for some reason. But there are schools that do have male teachers. You may be teaching children as young as 3 or 4. For kindergarten, it does encompass as well the preschool. So when they say kindergarten, it is kind of a general term for kindergarten and younger. So make sure you check to see how old the students are that you'll be teaching, how many students are there per class, will there be any teacher aides there to help you, how many teachers are there in each class for that group of students. Will you be with only one group of students, or do you change classes? Sometimes you are the kindergarten teacher for all the students there all day, and sometimes you are the kindergarten teacher for different classes, and you will change the class. Maybe you will just be English, maybe it will be music, science, math, etc. So it depends on the school. Each school is different. Now the public schools will be Monday to Friday. You will be working. Weekends off, holidays off. And so that's nice. Each school is different for the pay. For the pay, it depends on the city, it depends on the school. Larger cities pay a higher salary, smaller cities less. But I found with the public schools, you should be receiving somewhere around 15 to 20,000 Chinese yuan renminbi, which is around $3,000. It could be a little bit less than that, perhaps 12 to 14, if the whole benefits package is nice. So, for example, sometimes for the benefit package, they'll give you a free apartment to live in, and make sure for the apartment it's not shared unless you want to share with somebody. But you can. There are many options out there where you do get the free apartment to live in. Sometimes they will give you, usually they will give all the furniture there for you to use. It will be a furnished apartment. Sometimes they will pay for your electric, internet, and water as well. See if you can get that. Sometimes there's a limit for the electric because it could get expensive with the air conditioner and stuff. So sometimes the limit there is $50 to $100. Usually around $50, we'll say a month. So make sure you check all those details. Make sure you check the furniture, see what's there. Ask them a lot of questions. Is there a refrigerator? And they should have everything there in the apartment for you. So that's very nice. Sometimes the apartment is on campus, so you won't have to travel very far. That'll save you a lot of time and money. I've known people who have traveled over an hour just to get to work, over an hour and a half even, and then when you come back home, that's double the time. So if you're just walking the class, that will save you a huge amount of time. So for the public schools, look for that. Also for the benefits package, sometimes for the public schools they'll give you free meals as well at the school. You can choose to eat there if you want. Sometimes the food is good at schools, sometimes not so good. But each school is different. So look for that as well. They should be giving you your flight, pay for your flight, pay for your visa, and your medical insurance. So it is a nice benefits package, and some people I've known to work at public schools have taught not so many classes, as few as 10. Now um, usually it's not so few. Usually it's around 20 classes to 25 classes per week, which is about 4 or 5 classes per day, and that's pretty typical work schedule, Monday to Friday. In the morning and afternoon. Each school is different. They may give you extra classes for extra pay, but that's entirely dependent on each school. So take a look at the public schools, and again, you can choose the kindergarten, primary schools, middle schools, and high schools. Sometimes they say middle school to refer to both middle school and high school. So if you see someone say it's a middle school but grade 11, don't be confused about that, because middle school sometimes in China will refer to both the middle school and high school together. So keep that in mind as well. And stay tuned for the other videos where I talk about the other kinds of schools in China.